Now, in most cases, I like to give a little intro before I get into a video like this, but today is not that day. There is no way for me to describe or explain or break down the level of ridiculousness we're about to get into right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just hand it over to Swollen Martin himself and let him explain himself. And then I give my 2 cents on the other side of whatever this is. So let's get into it. Make sure to grab yourself a little something to sip on, preferably water, a little tea. Um, yeah.
White people really crack me up. So y'all see what I got on.
Let's see.
So when I travel at vacations, Ross, or a time off, man, listen, I ain't trying to pack a whole bunch of shit. So I color code.
It's a lot of
So
fabric.
everything in my bag is Texas A&M.
Okay.
So
We can see it.
sometimes it might be all Astros, all Rockets, all Texans,
Get to the
all
damn
Alpha.
point.
So I'm walking, white dude says,
What do you say?
"You a fan or that you play?" I know exactly.
Let me get this fool off the damn screen. That was the moment I knew that either this man was telling a whole entire lie or somebody came up to him trying to give him a compliment and he found a way to take offense from that compliment, right? This sounds like a type of situation where, let's say you see an older woman with her daughter, and out of the kindness of your heart, you want to make her, feel good in that moment. And you say, "Oh, is this your sister?" Right? It's not maybe a compliment to the daughter, but definitely to the mama. That's a big That's that type of situation. Because you see, brother Swollen, y'all are just seeing the proportions right here. Swollen Martin is indeed a swollen individual, right? That is not musculature that you're seeing right there with a little bit of, cellulite on the top of it. I was about to say cellulose, like this brother is a damn piece of celery or something like that. But what you're seeing right here, is a rounder individual. Roland, aka Swollen Martin. This brother right here is about 5'4", 275 pounds. Ain't no way in heaven or earth anybody asked this man with a serious face whether or not he played for a D1 college football team. Unless he was the water boy, the team manager of something of that nature. Okay? So I'm gonna let him finish off so y'all can hear the full context. But right there, I just had to stop it. When I heard this in real time, I said, ain't no damn way. Ain't no way. Strike one.
He was talking about. I said, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Oh," he said, "what you have on? Are you a fan or did you play?" And
You
mind
a
you,
fan?
I got on Aggie shorts, maroon shoes. Okay, 'cause I keep it simple when I pack. All I said was,
It's a lot of room.
"No, I'm a graduate." And I walked off. That's the shit black people have to deal with if we go to PWIs.
So, okay, that's what you got to deal with. Look, if somebody let's say I'm on Harvard's campus. Let's say I'm on Harvard's campus, and somebody said, "Oh, did you play?" That's a compliment to me, right? That's a compliment. If I'm on that campus and they say, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Or, are you here to steal something? That's offensive. Somebody calls me out of my name, that's offensive. But when somebody comes up to me and asks that type of compliment, that right there is them going out of their way trying to be nice. Now, look, I, I'm way too petty to be that type of individual. If I was a man who said that in real time, I would be dropping a series of videos about it. But since I'm not him, damn it, I'm going to do it myself. Look, these so-called activists, these far left race hustlers, the Al Sharpton 2.0s. This dude is more like a 1.0. There's no upgrades. He is the same Al Sharpton as yesterday, today, and forevermore. There's nothing different. There's nothing innovative about this race hustle. It's the exact same one. But individuals like this go through life looking for racism. And I forgot exactly who said this, but it was probably the best articulated way that I'd heard it said. They said that in today's day and age, there's a greater demand for racism than there is a supply. And the best example was the Juicy Smollett, whatever the hell his name is. the race hoax of our time, the greatest race hoax of our generation. That dude had to create the most ridiculous scenario because there wasn't enough of those type of incidences taking place right now in order for him to get the attention that he actually wanted. Not to say that these things don't happen, but they're so far and few between that when you're looking to attach yourself to, some sort of race grievance, you basically got to start making shit up. That's where the idea of quote unquote microaggressions comes from. Ooh, microaggressions. They're not just aggressions, they're micro. They're like microplastics. They're just in everything. You drink. Oh my God, I think this has microaggressions in it. You know what I mean? Hand on the mouse. Oh my, is that what is that sensation? Is that a microaggression? That's how these people go through life. They live a life to be offended. That is the entire purpose of their life experience. It's to find offense. Now, I want to run through this one more time just so y'all get how, again, if it's genuine, because I don't know, with a guy like this who received $350,000 from a Kamala Harris campaign in order to spew this nonsense continuously, like, I can't trust that you're not grifting in that moment. Some people try to say, oh, I'm a grifter because I'm a black conservative and how can that exist, etc. Yeah, black conservative, black Republican, whatever it may be, a moderate is an individual who started to think for themselves. It is easy to be a leftist and to be black. It is easy to be a black Democrat. That is the majority. That is the herd. That is the sheep. That's the follower. You are likely the individual who has not researched to a certain point to understand what the hell that actually means. And so this dude right here is a shill of the Democratic plantation. And if he is real in this, there is no way I would wish this even on my worst enemy to go through life and to see everything through the lens of race. Everything. It is destructive to the mind. It is destructive to the damn soul. You can't go you every man, the reason I didn't get that job, the reason I didn't get that opportunity, the reason why that white man looked at me like this or didn't look at me, the reason I got the opportunity, everything is on the basis of race. You can't see yourself in anything. Maybe, just maybe, I didn't get the job because I wasn't good enough for the job. I wasn't qualified, or maybe God's pointing me in a different direction, but instead I'm choosing to see racism. Maybe I was not the actual person who could do the job to carry that thing out. There have been times in my life where I had to face the damn music, face the fire, to hell with the music, that there were positions I was trying to get in life. There were clients that I was trying to go after when I have a digital marketing company, etc., that I had no business working with. I had no, okay, reaching out is aspirational, sure, but actually getting the client, it's like you first day as a digital marketer and you want to do marketing for Google. That's the type of delusion I lived under. Oh man, but the reason I didn't get that is because of racism. No, the reason you didn't get that is because you're Delulu. What the hell are you talking? There are folks who've been in this business for 30 years and are fighting to get contracts like that. But again, this is the mentality. So I'm gonna run this back one more again. I know we're all gonna have to suffer through it together, but it is what it is in this life.
White people really crack me up.
White people really crack me up. I every time I hear white people this, I'm like, look, we fought so hard to get to a place where we could live by the words of Dr. MLK Jr. Put some damn respect on his name. Dr. MLK Jr. We fought so long and so hard to get to a place as humanity, all of us on this planet, where okay, let's get past the superficial aspects. Let's not judge off of that. Let's judge character instead. Just to get back to a place where, half the video, oh, white people be doing this. Imagine if he said black people are so funny. That would be the internet would crash tomorrow. That would be the only video in circulation. The only video. If somebody said that with a straight face, but instead this gets celebrated. There's somebody on the other side of that screen talking about, I know that's right. Them white people. Can you believe those white people? Didn't we fight to get rid of that? Did we fight against the Democratic plantation who was saying things like that to all those black people? But I digress.
So y'all see what I got on. So when I travel at vacations, Ross, for a time off, man, listen, I ain't trying to pack a whole bunch of
And mind y'all, I didn't add that little music in the background for anybody wondering. That wasn't me. I didn't do it. Swollen himself did that because it's the only video I could find. So I'm assuming he put that little cute music behind it to give it some sort of emotional connection, to add some sort of drama to it. Like what happened wasn't the fact that somebody came up to him and tried to give him a compliment with his swole self. Did you play for the team? No, I'm a graduate. I've been like, well, damn, you look like you graduated from a few kitchens, from a few buffets. I'm just saying. I'm too petty for this. I'm too petty for it. I'm too petty for it.
so I color code. So everything in my bag is Texas A&M. So sometimes it might be all Astros, all Rockets, all Texans, all Alpha. So I'm walking. White dude says, "You a fan or did you play?" I know exactly what he was talking about. I said, "Excuse me?" He goes, "Oh," he said, "what you have on? Are you a fan or did you play?" Now, mind y'all,
To be fair, because I didn't even put this context. This man has on a maroon Texas A&M hat, shirt, pants, and some damn maroon shoes. I would have assumed that you were the water boy or the manager. I mean, there's one thing to be a fan, and then there's another thing to be the dude who paints your face maroon. Like that's that type of activity. So I would have thought that you were just, you were off your rocker. I would have just thought that you were an obsessive individual, and I likely would have avoided you at all costs. And I know there's super, super fans out there, and maybe a few who are mentally stable, but not the majority that I've seen or met. Now, them folks are off. There are a lot of them, quote unquote, white folk out there, for the Packers, got a damn cheese block on their head, face painted up with holes in it like they got like. So if I saw you walking around like that, I'm like, it's a little much, and that's a lot of fabric, to cover up all of the square footage. That's a lot of fabric. It's a lot of maroon.
I got on Aggie shorts, maroon shoes. Okay, 'cause I keep it simple when I pack. All I said was, "No, I'm a graduate," and I walked off. That's the shit.
You see, graduate, 400 years. That's that face right there. That's that face right there. Come on, bro.
People have to deal with it. We go to PWIs.
That's what we have to deal with. This man is acting like he is somewhere in Selma marching with dogs getting sicked on him. This is what we have to deal with. Ladies, let me know if you are 60, 50, 60, 70 years old and somebody comes up and thinks that you are younger. Is that not a compliment? If somebody comes up, oh, I thought, oh, surely you had to be in your 40s. And is that not a compliment? If somebody came up to me and they said, oh, you play for whatever football team, I'm like, okay, the gym is gymming. The gym is gymming. You think I'm well, okay? Well, I could have maybe. I don't, but maybe I could have. And thank you very much. So yeah, they're reaching, they're grasping for straws. There is not enough supply for the level, or there's not enough there's not enough supply for the level of demand of races. They're creating scenarios on a daily basis. It has been a while since they've had genuine place to stand where they could get an influx of these things. That's why 2020 was such a situation, because it was a perfect storm, perfect story, the George Floyd story. It, the formula is exactly what they live for. White man, not just white man, white male cop, black male quote unquote victim. That's the story, right? They can't see it outside of the lens of race. They're not allowed to. In the cult of woke ideology, you are not allowed to see it outside of that frame of reference. It is that simple. The Jordan Neely situation. It doesn't matter how many black and brown women said, hey, this guy was actually our hero that day. Does not matter. Does not matter. Daniel Penny is a villain because he is the white guy and the quote unquote victim was black. And I say quote unquote because there's still nuance in these stories. You understand me? That this isn't a Rodney King type of situation or some of them folks who were marching and had dogs sicked on. This ain't that. These are I'm never gonna sit here and lie to you. These are not comparable situations. Those were atrocities right there. And these ones, there was a lot of nuance. Some may say, oh, well, you shilling for the white man. How could you? No, them men was victims. They were victims. I have seen information on both sides that says one thing and the other. So that's why I don't get into the things that I wasn't there to fully, completely see. And all I can really hold is an opinion about it. But what I do know is that they racialize any and every situation that they can. And if this continues, and this is me all seriousness, if this continues, we allow for these juicy smoliers to continue to exist. As simple as that. And I'm not going to stand for that. I'll be damned. You're taking us backwards. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there. Or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.